For a country that covers only a little over 45,000 square kilometers, it has an estimated population of 1.3 million people, being one of the most sparsely populated countries in Europe, with almost 50% of its area covered by forests and 22% being under agriculture. This is in short Estonia, but in the following minutes we're going to see that's much more to the story of this beautiful, rich country. Let's begin. Sirima, an oak tree in the middle of a football field in Orisarn, won European Tree of the Year award in 2015. Estonia adopted the euro on January the 1st, 2011, is the birthplace of the first Christmas tree, and ranked third in press freedom economy in 2012. Since joining the European Union, has become an increasingly important transshipment zone for cannabis, opiates and other synthetic drugs. The name of the country comes from the Ests, the settlers in the region, is among the cleanest places on the planet to breathe, and belongs to the group of countries with the largest density of large predators in Europe. If you are lucky, you could sight wolves, brown bears and lynxes in the wild. The country has the highest number of startups per capita in Europe. It's also the birthplace of Skype. Religion is pretty much dead in this country. Only 16% of its population was found to be an adherent of some form of belief during a 2005 poll. The national flag of Estonia has three equal horizontal bands of blue on the top, black and white. Various interpretations are linked to the flag colors. Blue represents faith, loyalty and devotion, while also reminiscent of the sky, sea and lakes of the country. Black symbolizes the soil of the country and the dark past of the suffering endured by the Estonian people. White refers to the striving towards enlightenment and virtue, and it's the color of birch, bark and snow, as well as summer nights illuminated by the midnight sun. The public transportation in the capital Tallinn is free for residents of the city. This sort of arrangement benefits the environment, as there are fewer cars on the roads of the capital now than before, and more registered residents means more tax revenue for the capital as well. That's a really good idea. Business cards are pinned on the wall of the airport in Tallinn. You can stick your own business card on the wall and pick the one that is of interest to you. It's a great way to network with people and find useful stuff. The second biggest city in the country, Tartu, is also known as the intellectual capital of Estonia. The city was founded by Swedish King Gustavus Adolphus in 1632. Estonians are very beautiful. This statement can be very well supported by the fact that Estonia has the highest number of supermodels per capita in the world. The tallest mountain, Surmnagmi, in the country is just 1,000 feet in height, or around 300 meters. Estonia is the least populous state of the European Union, and Russian is a widely spoken language in the country. Just under 20% of Estonians are unemployed, but the population is in decline. It has a birth rate of 10.5 births per 1,000 persons. Cafe culture is quite popular in the country. Cafes can be found in almost every corner and streets across the country. The cafes in the country are small, cozy and provide a home-like feeling to its customers. If you visit Estonia, remember that 50% of the country is wooded. That shouldn't mean that you aren't connected to the internet. You will find internet access even in the woods. Estonian schools are also connected to the internet, and it's also the first country in the world to have used internet for political voting. The Estonian parliamentary elections were conducted online in 2007 for the first time in the world. The country has a literacy rate of 99.8, which makes it rank second in the world for that matter. Still, they have less than intelligent competitions. They host a wife carrying competition every year. That's not quite unique to Estonia. Many European countries participate in this event without falling or dropping the wife. Radiocarbon dating suggests that the Puli settlement, the oldest settlement in Estonia, was settled around 11,000 years ago. If you want to greet someone in Estonia with a hello, you had to say them tere. It means hello in Estonian. Estonia has the highest collection of written folk songs in the world, 133,000. If you love the country so much that you want to become a citizen, you have to choose between Estonian or your own. It does not accept dual citizenship. It has one of the highest rates of mobile ownership per capita. With a mobile phone you could pay for virtually anything. Free Wi-Fi is also available across the country. The capital of Estonia, Tallinn, is voted as the best protected and intact medieval city in Europe. You can also have a good chance to travel on ice roads if you visit the country during winters. Ice roads are formed between the mainland and the islands when the Baltic Sea freezes during winters. Birdwatchers, here is something of interest for you. Estonia sees millions of migratory birds. At least 380 species of birds are spotted in Estonia annually. The birdwatching season begins in early March in the country. The country is among the top 3 birdwatching destinations in Europe for the number of species around here. Tallinn Town Hall Square has an important role today. In summer, it's filled with outdoor cafes. plays host to the Old Town Days and other medieval festivals, is a venue for open-air concerts and fairs and more. In winter, it becomes a magical Christmas market, the centerpiece of which is a towering Lake Peipsi is Estonia's largest lake and Europe's fourth largest freshwater lake. The Estonian territory consists of a mainland and islands and inlets in the Baltic Sea. The country was once ruled by the Danish, Swedish, Germans and Russians. The country politically is a democratic parliamentary republic, and Estonians celebrate their independence twice a year, once on 24th of February and the other on 20th of August. According to some sources, St. Olaf's Church was once the tallest building in the world from 1549 to 1625. In 1590, the height of the church tower was 125 meters and has been hit by lightning around 10 times. The church has also burned down 3 times since its building in the 12th hundreds. As stated previously, it has the largest startups per capita. Also, miniature camera, known as the spy camera, was developed in 1936 by Baltic German Walter Zapp while living in Estonia. Miniac still exists today and is producing optical and photographic equipment. Even though it's the least religious country in the world, Christmas is big in the country. Traditional Estonian Christmas food include blood sausage, usually served with lingonberry jam and head cheese, roasted pork and potatoes. Many restaurants in Tallinn prepare special Christmas menus for the holidays where you can try some of the local delicacies. Blood sausage and sauerkraut can also be tasted at the Christmas market in the town hall square along with a hot cup of glögg, mulled wine. Instead of leaving milk and cookies out for Father Christmas, Estonian children leave slippers in the windowsill for the elves, who will in return leave sweets in the morning. During the Soviet period, many holidays, including Christmas, were banned. Estonians celebrated Narid instead. Although church was also banned, many Estonians still attended in secret on Christmas Eve and celebrated Christmas unofficially in their homes with close friends and relatives, usually behind closed curtains. There has been a long debate over who erected the first Christmas tree, Tallinn or Riga. We're not going to take sides, but some historical sources report that in 1441 the Brotherhood of Blackheads brought trees into their guild houses for the holidays in Rival, now Tallinn. In the last night of holiday celebrations, the tree was taken to the town hall square. This tradition still continues today in Tallinn's town hall square. Porpiev, or winter solstice, is the shortest day of the year in Estonia, taking place on 21st of December. On the solstice there are only 6 hours of daylight, whereas in summer the longest day of the year has 18 hours of daylight. The coldest months in Estonia are January and February, when the temperature can drop down to minus 35 degrees. The coldest temperature ever measured in Estonia is minus 43.5 in eastern Estonia on 17th of January 1940. There are different dialects in different regions of Estonia. For example, the Setos in the southern Estonia have their own dialect and their own kingdom, with about 12,000 speakers. Voro also has its own dialect with about 75,000 speakers. Both dialects are on the UNESCO list of threatened dialects. Estonia is a small nation, but its smallness doesn't hit you until you hear that there are only 3 cities that have a population greater than 50,000 people. Estonia also has more than one capital. Otepää is the winter capital, Turi the spring capital, Pärnu the summer capital, and Narva the autumn capital. Every year, thousands of skiers gather in Otepää for the annual Tartu Marathon. The marathon is part of the International Worldopat cross-country skiing series and offers 2 distances, 63 and 31 kilometers. There are even special activities for kids. During particularly cold winters, you can drive between some of Estonia's islands. The roads are even marked with signs and speed limits. You can drive on frozen ice. Estonian wooden house manufacturers are among the biggest exporters of wooden houses in Europe. The companies export 85 to 90% to Scandinavia, Germany and the UK, as well as Japan, South Africa and South Korea. The country has considerably more women than men. For every 100 females there are just 84 men. Only the Northern Mariana Islands have a smaller percentage of men in the world. In this country you will find a 5th season. Suma National Park is best known for its great flood, or 5th season, when the water from melted snow and heavy rains floods the forest. Estonia's largest factory, Kreenholm, began operation in 1858. By 1913 the company employed 10,000 people, making it Europe's largest textiles factory at the time. The factory complex, which altogether was close to 500,000 square meters, housed a school, chemist, sauna, hospital, churches, cemetery, and even its police force and jail. Being a maritime nation, the Estonian coastline is dotted with historical lighthouses that continue to top world listing for most spectacular architecture. The oldest lighthouses in Estonia have stood strong and guided seafarers of all nations since the 16th century. Tallinn can be regarded as an Olympic city. In 1980, when the Summer Olympics took place in Moscow, the Olympic regatta was held in Tallinn, which was part of Russia at that time. Estonia is only slightly bigger than Denmark and has a coastline fragmented with islands. Estonia has 2,222 islands, of which 380 are larger than a hectare or 2 acres, and only 22 islands are inhabited year-round. The first meal consumed in space was prepared in Estonia. A factory in Cozma became the caterer for the Soviet space program in 1962 and started packaging ready-made food into tin tubes, the only available means at the time. The wolf is one of the most popular animals in Estonian folklore. There are over 500 names and stories about this animal. One of the biggest meteorites to hit the Earth in recent history landed in Saaremaa, in what today is the village of Kali. Saaremaa is also where, according to one measurement, the center of Europe is located. Marzipan is one of the oldest sweets made in Estonia. First used as a medicine, as it was thought to have healing properties. Estonians invented their own sport, kicking. It involves a swing with its arms made of steel to enable a person to swing 360 degrees, going over the fulcrum of the wing. In the sport, the person able to swing over the fulcrum with the longest swing arms is the winner. In Estonia, wide cleanup program Teme Era got its start in 2008, when close to 50,000 volunteers cleaned up almost 10,000 tons of garbage from Estonia. The trend was caught on and now takes place in over 100 countries worldwide. Usually the event takes place on September the 15th. The Tallinn Town Hall is Northern Europe's only preserved Gothic city hall. Reptec in Tallinn is the oldest town council pharmacy in Europe and the oldest continuously operating medical institution in Estonia. Look for the swallow symbol on food packets throughout Estonia. It's given to products that are 100% Estonian origin. In 2017, it became apparent that Estonian food was among the cleanest in Europe, meaning that it uses the least amount of pesticides according to an EFSA report. The Riigikogu is the parliament of Estonia. The number of the members of the Riigikogu, 101, is the approximate cube root of the number of Estonian citizens with the right to vote. Its members are elected at general elections for a term of 4 years. Riigikogu passes laws and resolutions, exercises parliamentary supervision, and ratifies international agreements. E-residency is a new digital nation for global citizens, powered by the Republic of Estonia. Estonia is the first country to offer e-residency, a government-issued digital ID available to anyone in the world. Estonians are bookworms. According to a recent study by the Australian National University and the University of Nevada, Estonians top the world average of the number of books people own. On average, Estonians own 288 books per household, and 30% of respondents own 350 books or more. Estonia's national pastime is foraging. Everyone is allowed to pick and eat whatever they find in government-owned forests. Next time you are wandering through the woods, look for raspberries, strawberries, blueberries, mushrooms, and other things to eat. During the Crusades, Estonia was named Terra Mariana. 2 separate crusades were declared against the pagan tribes of the present-day Estonia and Latvia by Pope Celestine III in 1195 and Innocent III in 1198. The blue, black and white national flag of Estonia was first adopted on November the 21st, 1918, after the country's independence, but dates back to September the 17th, 1881, when it served as the flag for the first Estonian student society, Vironia. It was Estonia's flag until 1940, when the Soviet Union occupied Estonia. The flag was readopted on August the 7th, 1990, almost a year before Estonia regained its independence. The country did not have its own official currency until 1918, with the establishment of the Estonian mark. The first Estonian kron was introduced in 1924 in foreign trade and in 1928 for daily transactions. The kron series was finally completed in 1936. National parks are areas of particular national importance. Established to protect nature and cultural heritage, Estonia has 6 national parks: Lema, Mtsulu, Viljandi, Suma, Krula, and the newest, Altsgale. In addition to national parks, Estonia has many nature reserves and protected natural areas to protect endangered species and natural landscapes. If you've ever visited the country, tell me in the comment section below. What did you think about the country? Did you manage to connect to the forest Wi-Fi? Have you gone foraging? Did you like the foods and drinks of the country? If you haven't visited the country, please do so. It's beautiful. It's not that expensive to live there. That's all for today. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. I'm Alex, and until next time, beware of the falling apples.